and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a brand new episode of your favorite auto show, The Green Signal. The year 2013 has witnessed so many ups and downs in the automobile industry and automobile market across the globe. Now this is 2014, this is January, and it's time to evaluate what has happened in the previous months or in the last year, and it's time to assess what's going to happen in the coming months of 2014. So to shed light on this scenario, we have with us the VP of Nippon Toyota, Mr. Eldo Benjamin.
The year 2013 for an auto industry was not actually on a very good note to close, but I'll just take through the starting of the year. If you really ask me, the first quarter for the auto industry was good because March, of course, we had the budget and lots of relaxation came on the taxation at the time, and I think we had a very good quarter at the first quarter. But the second quarter, third and the fourth, there is typically a different scenario altogether. The second quarter of the calendar year 2013, we had a decline in sales because that's the time what happened was the commercial vehicle had a hit, in fact, because of the lots of industries just not performing equally for them to compete with. Two-wheeler, of course, had a very good market the whole 2013, but they didn't have a decline, in fact, but not even the growth. So that was a year for two-wheelers. But if you really ask me about passenger cars, the third quarter of the year, so that's the time when we had some launches actually happening for auto industry, and almost, if I'm putting it correct, is almost 23 models and models were launched, which also had certain facelifts. With this 33 new model launches in the year 2013, good quality inquiries have actually had come to all the showrooms. Coming to October, November and December. October, November we had a decline because almost that particular industry was waiting for, actually I like to say, they were all waiting for a December scheme. But when December came in, I think we gave the best. Mostly every manufacturer has put the best offer, but I think slight positivity in the customer sentiments actually had come in. Putting it right, I think December overall for Kerala was much better than South as well as for all India figures. For Toyota, if you really ask me, the whole year 2013, March was very good for us. September we did a fantastic numbers, and December, when you really ask me, we had come back to the same figure what we did in 2012, but with a decline of just 2%. Overall for Toyota, when we wrap up, we also had got the best of it as what others have got it. The year 2014, if you really ask me, you have all started with new hopes, new way of expectation from customers and new requirements of customers. Putting it right, because January will be a year where everything is going to be set in place. But February, if you really look in, this actually going to be the 12th Auto Expo, which is going to happen in Delhi. At this time, I think it's moving from Pragati Maidan to the Greater Noida area. So it's going to be from the 7th to 11th of February, where I think this time we are going to have lots of take from the Auto Expo. Reasons are every manufacturer has bought the best product in line for us to see it and to select. So this 2014 customers are going to have wider range of choice, and not only on choice, I need to say, we can actually see every manufacturer is going to give the best of it in the year 2014. So what all gap we had in 13, I hope that 2014 is going to be a year where we are going to see that there is going to be a slight momentum going to be for this, because after any auto show which is generally happening in India, we always feel that the whole year there is a lots of excitement for the dealers, and also manufacturers do support to get this in. Thirdly, if I really say, this is a year of election. So once I think our Lok Sabha election is completed off, we all hope to have a very, very stable government in the center, by which we are going to get a very, very good auto policies, hoping that the import duty of certain items can be brought down by the government, and also there is some stimulus package or SOPs can be given, so that the industry is going to take a reviving mode. That's very, very important in this scenario. And we hope, like last year we had all the issues like the high inflation, I think the high rate of interest from the banks, and also if you really ask me, the devaluation factor which has actually hampered our particular sector was very wide. Actually, if you really say, the automobile sale is an indicator basically of customer demand, and also all the macroeconomic factors in the industry. So if you really look in on a bigger and larger picture, we hope it is going to be helping this industry revive much faster. Kerala is going to be a totally different market because we are going to still rock great numbers for the premium sales cars, because Kerala is such a good market where all the premium cars just sell like hotcakes. And also this market where we always have seen that premium cars actually take up the big lead when compared to any South Indian figure or an all Indian figure. So that's going to be the one. Second, we still feel the two-wheeler industry is going to lead the same way what we felt in the year 2013. Banks are going to maybe correct their rate of interest, which is going to be very, very positive for my customers to pick cars. And third, very important thing is there is going to be a control on the inflation, which we are feeling currently negative. And this will be finally making all my customers to get a positive trend. 14, as we also see, is an year where lots of things will also be corrected, because we are going through a phase where lots of reforms are required in the auto industry, policy-wise, taxation-wise, and if you really put in up, this is an year where lots of consolidation also may happen. So the focus is going to be really to increase the customer sentiments and not to get much bothered actually on the macroeconomic factors. And we hope the stability of the government is also going to give a positivity for the entire auto industry, which makes us and make our customers to feel greatly happier and going to be getting very satisfied experience from mostly all dealers and manufacturers.
The most popular car from SKODA would be an Octavia. That's the car that any little kid would know when you say about SKODA. Now recently SKODA has given a facelift to Octavia, and now it's being heard that the Superb is also going to get a facelift, which will be coming into market later in 2014. The updated Superb will also be displayed at the upcoming Auto Expo 2014. SKODA has begun testing the updated Superb in India earlier this year. The Superb facelift will come with exterior changes such as an all-new grille with new Superb logo, head and fog lamps, re-profile bumper, front fenders and bonnet. The updated car will also get bi-xenon headlights with integrated LED daytime running lamps. The rear styling also gets tweaked in the form of reshaped tail lamps, which mimic the shape of high-end Audis and get new inserts with LED elements. Tweaks to the interiors include a new 4-spoke steering wheel, new gear lever, new color schemes, and now the front passenger seat can also be moved from the rear electronically. There is also an automatic reverse parking system. The facelifted Superb will continue to be offered with the same engine options when it is launched here. This includes a 1.6-litre TSI petrol engine, a 2-litre TDI and a 3.6-litre V6 petrol engine. The TSI motor comes with the option of a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed DSG auto box, while the 2-litre diesel and the 3.6-litre V6 is available with a 6-speed DSG only. Hyundai is also to launch its new SUV, the Santa Fe, on February 6th. Now Hyundai's cars are very successful in market, but they yet have to make a space for themselves in the SUV segment in India. Now the earlier models like Tucson and before that Terracan, they actually got lukewarm response, but then something didn't set the sales chart on fire. So let's see what Santa Fe is got to offer for us. Hyundai will launch the all-new Santa Fe SUV on February 6. Developed on an entirely new platform, this new generation car is larger than the car it will replace. It is 40 mm longer and 5 mm wider, although the roofline is 45 mm lower and it retains the same 2700 mm wheelbase. The new Santa Fe will also carry over Hyundai's powerful and refined 2.2-litre VGT, that's variable geometry turbo diesel engine from the current model. The power and torque figures remain unchanged at 194 bhp and 44.5 kg respectively, but the engine has received minor upgrades in the form of 3rd generation common rail diesel technology with piezo injectors for better fuel efficiency and lower emissions. Buyers will get to choose between a 6-speed manual and a 6-speed automatic transmission, while the on-demand 4-wheel drive system will be standard. Hyundai has spent a lot of time getting this new Santa Fe to India, and that's because the Korean manufacturer wanted to establish a clear strategy with which to take on the current segment king, the Toyota Fortuner. To ensure the success of its new SUV, Hyundai will bring the cost down by localizing assembly at its plant in Chennai, and in doing so will be able to offer competitive pricing. new BMW M3 and M4 Saloons have been revealed in full. The BMW M3 returns as a saloon only and with turbocharged 6-cylinder power for the very first time. The adoption of turbo power dispenses with 26 years of BMW M division tradition of using high-revving naturally aspirated engines for the M3. Pictured as a production car guise for the first time, the new 425 bhp 4-door M3 Saloon will be joined from the outset of sales in 2014 by the M4, a mechanically identical but stylistically sleeker 2-door coupe previewed in lightly veiled concept car guise at the Pebble Beach Concourse in California in August. Along with the news of all these new cars being flooded into the market by various brands in 2014, it's also been heard that from next month onwards, that's from February onwards, there is going to be a price hike in cars. I mean, especially with brands like Hyundai, Renault and Volkswagen. After all those chit-chats about cars that's going to be launched in 2014, it's time to speak about what's happening in the motorcycle world. Now, Kawasaki is going to launch its Z800, the middleweight street naked bike, in January, that's this month. The middleweight Z800 was first launched in 2013 worldwide, nearly 40 years after the launch of the Z1. Kawasaki's smaller capacity stablemate of the Z1000, which was launched this month, is expected around January this year. The Kawasaki Z800 houses a 4-stroke, inline 4-cylinder, 806cc liquid-cooled engine generating maximum power of 113 bhp at 10,200 rpm and peak torque of 8.46 kg at 8,000 rpm. The 6-speed gearbox on the fuel-injected engine transfers power to the rear wheel via an exposed chain. Being a street-naked middleweight, the bike also offers fuel-efficient riding with optimum performance on tap, thanks to features like economical riding indicator, which appears on the instrument panel indicating fuel consumption for efficient riding, and the dual throttle valve feature, which is a second set of ECU controlled throttle valves offering better combustion efficiency along with an increase in power. The tubular backbone chassis design and revised rigidity offers great feedback to the rider. The ergonomically redesigned seats on the Z800 seem to provide comfort for both rider and pillion. The front suspension include 41mm inverted forks and the rear suspension features an aluminium body with piggyback reservoir which has been repositioned for better handling and feedback to the rider. Kawasaki has incorporated 310mm pedal disc up front and a single 250mm pedal disc at the rear to provide efficient stopping power. The Z800 will soon be on sale in India, directly imported in as a completely built unit or CBU model from Thailand. The Z800 would cost approximately Rs 8.5 lakhs ex-showroom Pune. In 2003, Kinetic Motors brought 200 units of the Hyosung Aquila 250 for sale in India, but that didn't take off due to the unavailability of spare parts and service points in India. But now Hyosung is all set to relaunch the Aquila 250 in India. The Hyosung Aquila 250 launch will be followed by the launch of the street-naked Hyosung GD 250N around April 2014, a motorcycle which will be a competitor for KTM's Duke. The Aquila 250 was loved by many for the cruiser experience it offered at its price point. The Hyosung GD 250N, meanwhile, has a more stripped-out design accentuating the engine, rear suspension and chassis. The body of GD250N has been redesigned to offer a tipped forward stance, keeping the street naked styling in mind. The theme has been carried forward to the instrument cluster as well, offering a single LCD display for the rider. The rider's seat is set between fuel tank and the pillion seat, making it lower than the saddle of the KTM Duke. The Hyosung Aquila 250 is expected to be priced at approximately Rs 2 lakh, whereas the Hyosung GD250N is assumed to be priced somewhere between the prices of the KTM 200 Duke and the 390 Duke and will be assembled in India. Minnesota-based Polaris motorcycle is planning for an India debut of its iconic motorcycle range, the Indian motorcycle. It's going to happen on 22nd January in New Delhi. Indian's exact model lineup for India along with other details are yet to be announced. Polaris India is headed by the Indian two-wheeler industry veteran Pankaj Dubey, who plans as managing director to import the new motorcycle via the CBU route. Indian motorcycles will sell from independent showrooms, not sharing space with ATVs also sold in India by the same firm. The heavy cruiser bikes will rival Harley-Davidson's bikes here, which are on a dream run, standing tall as industry leader for big bike sales in India since launching here only a few years ago. What we can confirm is Indian's cruiser range of motorcycles will launch with the company's latest 111 Thunderstroke engines, as have been very recently updated on the Indian model lineup available in international markets. The Mercedes-Benz has launched the all-new 2014 S-Series Benz at New Delhi at a whooping price of Rs 1.57 crores. It's the ex-showroom price, New Delhi. Now, each of these top-of-the-line S variant will be completely imported as a CBU from